Hey guys, it's Adam back with a brand new episode of Living in Denver. And this episode this week, it's all about food and the best 3 neighborhoods in Denver if you are a foodie. Really excited to share this one with you guys, so stay tuned. All right, so let's just jump right into this. As always, you guys, my name is Adam Lang, licensed realtor here in Denver. All that info down below. If you need anything at all, feel free to reach out. I would love to connect with you guys. Even if you're not serious about buying or selling a home in Denver right now, it's still a great way for us to connect. So all that info down below, reach out if you need to, but also down in the show notes, I've got some really valuable free resources for you to download. My favorite local guides to Denver, best neighborhoods, all kinds of really great stuff. So check that out too. But as I said, today is going to be all about my top 3 Denver neighborhoods when it comes to food. And I'm not alone on this. I'm actually also utilizing one of my favorite magazines, which is 5280 magazine. If you're not that familiar with Denver, 5280 is a subtle little hint at our altitude, 5,280 feet. So this is one of the best magazines. If you haven't gotten a copy of this, check them out online. They also have a digital version, but they share all kinds of great stuff, and including this episode, talking a little bit about foodies, best neighborhoods, all that good stuff. So jumping right into it though, my first of my 3 neighborhoods that I want to talk about is actually an area that I used to live in. And it's going to be actually 2 areas, but I'm going to jumble them together in one. And that's going to be Sloan Lake and also West Highland. So Sloan Lake and West Highland are just located to the west of downtown Denver, where I used to live in Sloan Lake. I was only about 2 blocks from the Broncos Stadium, and we're literally within a bike ride of downtown Denver. Coors Field, all of the bars and restaurants in Lodo, lower downtown. Just a great spot to be if you are somebody that likes to have that little bit of a balance between parks and being a little bit outside of the very urban type lifestyle that downtown Denver provides. But you're still close enough where it's literally, it can be at least, a short walk or bike ride. You can still drive too, but just so you can have some relation to where it is within Denver and how close it is to a lot of this great stuff. And just to include a little bit extra info as well for you, to get to downtown Denver for driving, you're looking at about 5 to 10 minutes. And if you're going out to Denver International Airport, you're looking at about 25 to 30, assuming there's nothing crazy with traffic on I-70. But talking now about food, that's what this whole episode's about. So what I wanted to start off with when it comes to West Highland and Sloan Lake is talking a little bit about just what makes it so special. And the first thing that comes to mind for myself as I start thinking through these areas and when I used to live over here just a few years back is the walkability. So especially along 32nd Avenue, which has a ton of the restaurants in West Highland, you just have the ability to, find a place to park in one of the neighboring streets and then just start at one end and walk up to the other end, and along the way, maybe pop your head in a few different places, whether it be just local shops, but also different cool, unique places to grab a drink before dinner. And then just a lot of the best restaurants in all of town, some including that have the Michelin star grade, which is the top you can get here in Colorado as well as the United States, and just a lot of different options. Everything from Indian food to sushi to really fun different types of American fare. They literally have it all here in West Highland. One of my personal favorites though is actually going to be a little bit further to the south of this area in Highlands, closer to Sloan Lake. And the one that I want to share with you guys in that area is actually called Edgewater Public Marketplace. And the reason I wanted to share this one first is because it has a little bit of everything for everyone. It's one of these food hall type places where you walk in, and then as soon as you're inside, you got your choice of probably about 15 to 20 different locally owned and operated businesses. A lot of times it's the chef, but also the owner that's working behind the counter, which I love. I love having that direct interaction with small businesses. And you have your choice of everything. Again, everything from Nepalese food to different kinds of shish kebabs and gyros to more American fare like barbecue. And what's cool is everybody that goes into this Edgewater Public Marketplace has shared seating in the middle, these long picnic style benches, where if you go with a big group and everybody has their own taste and they want to try different things, everybody can go get their food and then congregate back at these big tables, and everybody kind of gets what they want. Another little tip for you, if you are in a big group and everybody's a little concerned about, covering the bill and, they want to kind of just pay for what they're eating and not getting, not getting jumbled in with everybody else on the bill, this is a great option because everybody's doing their own thing at first before sitting down. So Edgewater Public Marketplace, definitely check that out. But then also, I'm talking not only about West Highlands, also Sloan Lake. Two other places in Sloan Lake specifically that are a couple of my favorites as I used to live over there. The first one is going to be actually the Odell Brewery. So Odell has been around for as long as I can remember, as long as I've been drinking since I was 20, 21, probably looking at almost 25 years at this point. They've been there for, I'd say, about 10 years now, and just a really iconic, kind of a staple within the Sloan Lake shopping center, which is going to be on the south side of Sloan Lake. There's a ton of local beers at Odell, but what I love specifically about the location of Odell is it's right next door to some of the other best spots in this area. And one of these being the patio at Sloan's. Really cool outdoor dining. There's usually live music playing a few days a week, and you just look out right over Sloan Lake. So it's a great spot if you're maybe looking at a place where you want to get a little exercise, maybe go for a walk around the lake. It's 2.2 miles, takes you right around an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So it's a great place where you could even go out, meet some friends, get a little exercise, maybe walk around the lake with your friends, and then go over, maybe have a drink or two and some lunch at the patio at Sloan's Lake. So a couple local recommendations for you. And then the only other thing I want to share on this first of three neighborhoods is just talking about its walkability. It's not great like some of the two other places that I'm going to be sharing with you guys next, but it's still, in my opinion, better than most. So you are still going to have to get in your car and drive to these certain little pockets where there are lots of different choices, but it's not just like one centralized area where you have 20 or 30 options. It's kind of like you have 5 over here, maybe 3 or 5 over here. They're a little bit more spread out, all within about a 2-mile radius, but still, they're not just all centrally located. So that would be my only con or negative to this first of 3 neighborhoods, Sloan Lake and West Highland, but overall, a great option. And then just one last little bonus tip for you. One of the newest restaurants that just opened about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago is called Cholon. And Cholon is really cool because they have some very unique blends and just kind of spins on Asian cuisine. Some of my favorite food is definitely Asian, and I love the sticky buns, and they do some really cool kind of twists to stuff like that. And I just love restaurants where when you go in, you're not exactly sure what to order because some of the stuff you've never seen before. So if you're looking for a restaurant like that, definitely check out Cholon. All right, but now let's just jump right into number 2, which is going to be downtown Littleton. So I'm a little biased here because I shared my first part of this video, neighborhood number 1. That's where I used to live in Sloan Lake. Now the second neighborhood is going to be downtown Littleton, and that's where close at least to where I currently live. And I'm not just using these because I've lived there. I truly do feel like they are top 3 contenders for best foodie neighborhoods. And one of the first things I want to say about downtown Littleton is that its location is going to be a little bit further south from West Highlands and Sloan Lake. So with downtown Littleton, you're looking at about a 30 to 35 minute drive to downtown Denver, depending on traffic. What I really do like though is you can take Highway 85, which is also known as Santa Fe. It's a little bit less used road in comparison to our main interstates like I-25 and I-70. So you are a little bit more, I think, able to be strategic and pretty certain that certain times of the day it's going to be busy, but the other times you hopefully won't have as much traffic and you can kind of get around a little bit more predictably. But what I love about downtown Littleton is it truly is a downtown. In fact, it's even called Old Town or Historic Downtown Littleton because it's been around for a long time, and there are just a ton of options, not only right now, but also stuff that's gonna be new here in the future. Every time I'm in downtown Littleton, I always see new stuff popping up. Unfortunately, that also usually means that other places are closing down, but there's really, really good selection of restaurants, different types of places to drink, including even like speakeasy type places. One that's really cool is called the Greyhound. But there's also a ton of really good restaurants, and I'd even say some of my favorites in the entire city are right here in downtown Littleton. So when it comes to the restaurants in downtown Littleton, just a few of my personal local favorites. First off, it's going to be the Melting Pot. So the Melting Pot is fondue, definitely a unique type of dining experience if you've never done this before. And the one thing I will recommend though is I personally like this a lot better in the wintertime versus the summer, because you do get a little bit warmer, because at each of your tables, wherever you go inside and sit down at, there's actually Bunsen burners and they're heating up the fondue at your table, which does put off a little bit of heat. And it's in a very old historic building. It's been everything from a jail to now a restaurant. Really cool, just backstory at the Melting Pot here in downtown Littleton. So definitely check that one out. But then also, as you just walk your way up onto Main Street on downtown Littleton, you get your pick of all kinds of great stuff. You know, one of my other favorites is a restaurant called Palenque. It's got some of the largest selection of mezcal in the entire country. You literally ask for the menu for the mezcal and it's like 5 or 6 pages long. You're just like, I don't even know what these are, but really cool. Just something different to try out. They also have a really good rooftop. And then right across the street from Palenque, there's also a view house, which is a great spot to go during the fall with all of our fun Colorado sports, you know, back in action when it comes to football and even at the end of the baseball season, depending on if we're good or not. Right now, we're not. But anyways, there's a lot of really good spots where you can be outdoors, enjoying some of the views of the western slope and the mountains, as well as just great spots where you can walk around afterwards and check a few different places out while you're just parked in at one place first. So downtown Littleton, great spot. The only negative or con that I would say about downtown Littleton is, since it is a little bit further south, if you are currently living up north, like maybe Thornton or North Glen, or maybe a little bit further to the west, like Westminster, these are going to be areas that have a little bit longer of a drive to get over. And because of that, a lot of people that live on the north and even on the west side of town just don't really make it over to downtown Littleton as often. So it really is an area that's used primarily by people that do live on the southern side of Denver. And then one last thing I'll share with you before moving on to our third neighborhood for foodies is downtown Littleton can get a little bit sleepy. So it's not a place to go if you want to, you know, go bar hopping until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 in the morning. If that's your style, you're definitely going to have to find other places, probably more in the downtown Denver part of town. But there are still some spots in downtown Littleton that'll stay open until 10 or 11, and you know, still great spots to check out and enjoy, maybe a weeknight instead of a Friday or Saturday night. But overall, great spot. Definitely check out downtown Littleton. And when you do, leave me a comment. Leave it down below. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so number 3, the third and final one, and these aren't in any particular order, but I love this one just as much as the first two, and that's going to be Cherry Creek North. And I've actually done some other videos on Cherry Creek North. If you guys want to check any of them out, I'll link a couple of them up above here in the video. But what I love about Cherry Creek North is it has a ton of options in a very confined, tight space. So most people that live in downtown Cherry Creek, or Cherry Creek North is really a better way to put it. When you live in this part of Cherry Creek, almost everybody is in either a high-rise luxury apartment or condo. There are still some single-family homes that are within walking distance of this core area of Cherry Creek North, but these are we're talking very expensive homes, you know, $2 million plus. But so really, it's quite dense, but it's because of all of the luxury apartments and condos. Without categorizing specifically what types of, you know, people and demographic are in this area, I would just say that at my observation from being over in this area quite a bit, it's a lot of people that are in that maybe late 20s up until maybe the 40s, where maybe they're still single, maybe they're young professionals, and they just really value having that walkability and that direct access to tons of options. And not just restaurants, but also yoga studios and Pure Barre and, you know, all kinds of workout classes, really cool coffee shops. And you're just literally right across the street from Cherry Creek Mall, which is one of the top malls in the state. Not just in my opinion, but that's pretty much true with anybody you ask. So, and one other thing I'll share with you guys, so my girlfriend, she actually used to live in Cherry Creek North. She'd been there for, I think, almost a decade. And for the first about 2 years of us dating, she was still over there, and I'd go over there all the time, obviously, and we'd check out a lot of these restaurants. You know, there's a lot of great options, but I will say there are a little bit more on the pricey side. So get ready to spend a little bit more if you're frequenting Cherry Creek North on a regular basis. But the flip side of that is some of the best dining in the state is located in this area. Just a couple of my favorites, just in case you guys are curious and you want to check a spot out for yourselves in Cherry Creek North. If you're a sushi fan, one of the best spots in all of Denver is Matsuhisa. There's several locations. In fact, I have some friends that own the one up in Aspen, Colorado. It's also by the same name, Matsuhisa. But there's, they're all over the country, but it's just a very high-end, very well taken care of experience from start to finish. Great wait staff, great presentation of the food, just everything is top-notch. So if you want a very nice dinner, check out Matsuhisa. And then another couple favorites of mine, if you like Italian, look into Quality Italian, and also another one that's called North. And if you like more of that traditional American fare, a great option is Del Frisco's. They've got this really cool rooftop deck, just nice vibe. It's also a fun spot on the weekends for like a late lunch, maybe like not really a happy hour, but like a brunch type scenario on the weekends. There's so much stuff. I could name another 5 restaurants that are high on my list, but those are just a couple for you. The one thing I'll say also though about Cherry Creek North is due to those really high expensive homes all surrounding Cherry Creek North, if you are choosing to try and find a place to live over here, just be aware that you're gonna have to pay a premium, and that premium is to offset the experience, the lifestyle that you're gonna have by living in an area like this. It's an area where when you get off of work, let's say you do still commute for work, when you get home, you park your car, and then if you're gonna go back out, you're not getting in your car again until the next day, most likely. You're just walking around to different places to enjoy it that way. So really, really cool experience, especially just for maybe a couple years. If you're trying to move out to Denver and you're new to town, this could be a great place just to socialize and meet new people, because everybody's kind of in that same boat. A lot of singles, a lot of young professionals, and just a very social type place to live, and also to fine dine and just enjoy everything that it has to offer. All right, guys, so there you have it. 3 of the best neighborhoods when it comes to foodie lifestyle, walkability, and just awesome places to live if this is a high importance item when you're considering what parts of town to maybe move to. I definitely think these are the best when it comes to food options, but there are also a lot of honorable mentions. If you guys have questions on where some of these other spots are, always feel free to reach out, put that info down below, my phone number, email, text me, whatever's most convenient, shoot me an email. But before we go, I also just want to remind you guys, 40+ year Colorado and Denver native, and I've put together over 20 of just my overall favorite neighborhoods throughout the Denver area. It's called my relocation guide, but really it's my locals guide to Denver. All of this info that I'm talking about today, that kind of stuff is what's in this guide. I'll put down in the show notes a link to get a free copy for yourselves and dive into that. I guarantee you're gonna find a few spots that maybe you didn't know about that you'll be glad you did after reading. Until next week, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you then.